Haha. What? It's your puppy nose. Took a break. Better. So weird. No, I haven't. Current duration of this stream has been 16 minutes. The last stream was an hour and a half ago. And the time that I was gone for that hour and a half, I cooked dinner, I ate dinner, and the previous stream was 5 hours. I stopped before that and had lunch and did errands and had a stream before that of 5 hours. So over 10 hours, but it's not been straight. Hey Z. And the sign says, long-haired hippie freakle. Long-haired freaky people need not apply. Just turn off the caps lock. What up? The simplest ways are the easiest. When I said hazy, I think, didn't I? Let's say yes. So evidently terrorists have a problem with Ariana Grande. It's like I've been suspecting for years. Manchester, in the UK, a concert was just getting out, and supposedly, there was a terrorist attack, suicide bomber. Now there are fatalities supposedly, and possibly those fatalities are just from trampling. I'm not saying she's in league with the terrorists. I'm just saying she hasn't signed her loyalty papers yet. That did it. Always knew she was a sellout. I believe there was this big part of her show where this shark came out. The shark cage came out, and she jumped that shark with a motorcycle. Spectacular, evidently. Do you hear noises too? Apparently police found... What? Huh. Thanks, Aaron's. Thanks, Aaron. It's your name. It says Aaron's World. That's why I want to keep calling you Aaron's. Well, that's good. No, I'm not familiar with that. Z, are you familiar with any mods for road pieces? Road story. Sorry. Oh yeah! Hi, awesomeness. Wait a minute, Aaron. You're on a Xbox though, aren't you? Yeah, workshop items. That was a disappointment, to say the least. Workshop items? Yeah. I have found that these walls are okay. However, You can't use the things for them to walk on. Which just makes me go dough. Because that's what these are. These are the workshop residential floors, and they might not walk on them. I can easily swap these out to be Vault Tech floors, and that'll be okay, but or just wood floors, but totally forgot about that. She's back to standing over there. I just want to shoot her. I mean... Alright, I'm going to stand by that statement. I'm just saying, this is what the walls should be. One side, one thing, the other side, the other thing, and they both look like they're decent. Hey Z, what's it like living in a country without gun violence and universal health care? Just curious. Bet it's cool. Well, yeah, but you guys don't have as much gun violence as we do. And that doesn't count because that someone probably deserved it. I say someone deserved it. No, that's horrible to say, and it makes light of the situation. But it's domestic gun violence, which is different. Than real gun violence. Before we moved into the city, we were selling our house, and there's gun violence in that community, a lot, and I was upfront with the people about it, But I also did tell him that it's okay because it's domestic gun violence, so it doesn't count. They did still buy the house. Make a trading post. You mean that? Or do you mean this? I added the changing room Z because you know what? That's awesome. I already did it. Done. Clinic and screening. The gun shop was the first thing I built. I still have to decorate it. What's going to happen is I'm going to add in a power armor station or two. And then fill the walls with guns on gun racks. Dum, 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 dum. It is. It is vanilla. So many beds do I have now? 19? What? This is the hospital. It's not finished yet inside, but the building's built. These are mods on the PS4, yeah. This is the PS4 Pro that I'm using.
got mail.
Mr. Carter. No one gets that reference. Not even Z. You're not cool enough to know that reference. Z. Did he do something stupid? Yes, worked. Worked. Yay! Welcome back. Dreams are your ticket out. Welcome back. I'm Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married several times before, and everyone loves an Henry. Henry! She wouldn't want a Willie or a Sam. No, Sam! I'm a right old man, I'm Henry.
My name is Jackie Cation. I do stand-up comedy. You can't tell yet, but I'm gonna do a little stand-up comedy. I go all over the country. I love wherever I go. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. Really rock star. Woohoo! 25 below. Yay! That's where I want to go in February. Could have gone where? I don't know. Tahiti? There's a place to go in February. But no, let's come here. And I used to live here. I grew up in the cold, but for some reason it's over. My love affair with the freezing, and we were really just on speaking terms anyway, so I never really liked it. But I'm from Wisconsin originally. Anybody here from Wisconsin? My people are... Oh, that's amazing to me. And what cultural mecca do we all hail from here?
Hi.
Some planned golf community in Eden Prairie? Yeah. Hope it all works out for you. That's great. Yeah. So, no, it's just dumb. It's the dumbest thing in the world. When I moved here from Wisconsin, that people made fun of me because I was from Wisconsin. Minnesotans made fun of me because I was from Wisconsin. Pretty sure corn. Pretty. It's like warring trailer parks, people. Who gives a damn? We all came here on the same tractor pull, okay? Should all just join hands and sing One Tin Soldier. It's gonna be fine. My name is Jackie Cation. I do stand-up comedy. You can't tell yet, but I'm gonna do a little stand-up comedy. I go all over the country. I love wherever I go. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. Really rock star. Woohoo! 25 below. Yay!
Sorry.
That's where I want to go in February. Could have gone where? I don't know. Tahiti? There's a place to go in February. But no, let's come here. And the weirdest thing about doing stand-up is that people will say anything to you. Absolutely anything. I was in Iowa. Man came up to me after the...
I'm building the bed? The bunkhouse? Let's call it the bunkhouse. The bunkhouse? Yeah, the bunkhouse.
and just said, "You can hit me if you want, but I have to tell you this thing." "Wow, there'll be no hitting, sir." "What?" He says, "You remind me of a female Dennis Franz." All right. Dennis Franz, he's a large, balding, mustachioed man on some cop show. I don't know. I was like, what? Don't break up into discussion groups. Okay. And I'm like, I know. You don't have to say everything that comes into your jackass head, is what I told him. There'll be no hitting. And my personal favorite was in Pittsburgh. Club owner, the guy who owned the comedy club, in the middle of a conversation just says to me, "You were a carny, weren't you, Jackie?" Yeah. So I get it. I'm perceived as tough circus people, okay? We'll just go from there. That'll be great. And it's not like I don't like small towns. I love small towns. Just last year, I was up in Fairbanks, Alaska, doing the troops. Which never comes out right, but I mean the weird thing about Fairbanks was that most of the people that I met, the locals who had moved up there, were from Minnesota and Wisconsin. I was like, wow, just not cold and dark enough in Wisconsin. Let's move up to Fairbanks. Crawl into a bottle. Good idea. Last Christmas when I was here, I got a golden opportunity to do a town last minute in North Dakota. A very small town in North Dakota. But my brother and sister both live here in Minneapolis, and I'd already promised my brother that I would dog sit for him. So I had to bring the dog with me to North Dakota to the show. And this town was enormously small, and it was small enough that they were excited to see the dog. "That's a new dog. Where'd you get that dog? That's a nice looking dog. What kind of dog is that?" It's a pound dog? I don't know. It's just a dog." And I had the dog with me in the bar where the show was happening, 'cause you could. And the dog is wandering around meeting everybody because it's a dog. And it's a great dog, Sparky the dog. There he is, wandering around. And he licks this guy. Because he's a dog. And the guy looks at me and he goes, "He just kissed me." That's a town needs more women. Or more dogs. Here's the weird thing, is I love dogs. I've always wanted a dog. I think they're great. But the weird thing about LA, it's got to be happening here too. The creepy, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars to keep my animal alive long after the time when the dog should be, wow, new dog. How about that? When I was a kid, when your dog got old and sick, you sadly put the dog down so that the dog could go away and be happy somewhere else. Now, no, we're going to keep the dog. We're keeping the dog. In LA, I swear, some woman paid $3,000, a friend of mine, paid $3,000 to replace the hip on her dog. You know what, 3,000 new dogs. How about that? That's $3,000. And it didn't work. So now her dog is still wandering around like Captain Pike on like a little scooter thing, you know? It's just... And if the dog can't run around, it's not like the dog is like Stephen Hawking's. You know, it's not gonna write the great American novel. It's not gonna happen. It's a dog. I love animals. I genuinely do. It sounds like I'm an ass, but... And I am, I suppose. I went to Australia, and I'd never been to Australia, and I always wanted to go to Australia because I thought Australia's cool. And Australia is cool, except for that America has already crapped it up. There's been a problem with 15 hours I fly to go to Australia, and the first thing I see when I get off the plane is a Starbucks. Okay, so 15 hours I fly. I get off the plane, and the first thing I see is an Asian woman on her cell phone at a Starbucks. We have that. I don't need to go see that. That's available right here. And the other thing they have is Target. And granted, I love Target. Who doesn't love Target? Who's made of stone? Come on, f***ers. Okay, so I love Target. Target is awesome. It's got shiny plastic crap. It's awesome, right? And get this, in Australia, different shiny plastic crap. different crap. I almost bought luggage. I was like, how did you get different crap? And possibly because they're closer to the source, right? Indonesia? But, so I go. But I'm talking to this Australian woman about the crap that's great, right? The great crap that they have. And she says, yeah, it's crap, but you know sometimes what we call Target here in Australia? Target. I'm like, oh my God, that's our shitty joke. Is nothing safe? Is nothing sacred? Why? And then, of course, because I'm an American, I got a lot of people coming up to me saying, do you know that your government's trying to take over the world? Yes. Do you know that my government's actually playing a to-scale version of the game Risk? And you have to leave an army in every country. Otherwise, you can't keep playing.
It's so true.
Aww. Wow, you like that. Let's see. I don't do a lot of political material because while I always have an opinion, I don't always have all the information. I try to keep it to a minimum. Try to zip it. Try to keep the mystery alive somehow. I did see this on the news that they're building a Walmart next to the pyramids outside of Mexico City. There's 9 pyramids on the planet. And Walmart's going to build a Walmart right next to 3 of them. And granted, that's what Walmart does. They build Walmarts. That's what they do. But right next to them, and they interviewed the Walmart lady, and the Walmart lady was like, well, you know, during construction, when we found artifacts, we turned them right over. Thank you, Mother Teresa. And then she said, and we're designing the Walmart so it matches. It's going to blend right in. Wow! I was like, oh, wow. Because you know how a Walmart just blends right in. Wherever it is. And then I thought about it, and it makes sense that they would put a Walmart next to a pyramid, because I believe the pyramid's also built by slave labor. But I think they had better health care. All right. And my parents, here's the thing about my parents. I love them dearly, but they are completely cuckoo. My parents are divorced, but they still live together. Hi, divorced, still live together. 6 years. My mom lives in their old room, and my dad lives across the hall in my old room. And they go bananas when either one of them dates. But they get to date because they're divorced. And they got divorced because my dad was dating. Oh, yes. We found out that our father was having an affair for 9 years. And you know what my dad had to say about it? Not 9 years in a row. And he called me up like 3 months ago tweaking because my mother is going out with somebody that he went to high school with 1,000 years ago. And I'm like, Dad, you guys live in a town the size of a postage stamp. Who the hell else is she supposed to date? You know, and he's like, well, I don't have to take it. I'm going to move out. Yeah. Run. Jesus. Get the hell out. You're driving yourself nuts. And he's like, well, I could be married by Monday. A lot of women want to marry me. I could be out of here and married to another woman by Monday. I'm like, wow, are you going to get married at Mom? You know who loves that joke? My mother. And then in the same conversation, he asked me if I wanted to be in charge of pulling the plug when he's on his deathbed. And I was like, wow, Pop, I don't know. I don't want to have this, really, right now, this conversation? And he said, well, I'd ask your brothers, but they're still mad at me about stuff, and they'd be plugging me in and unplugging me and plugging me in and unplugging me. Because they're hilarious. And so they are. I have 4 older brothers. Nobody's funnier. Nobody's funnier than the older brother. Oh, the jackass hilarity could wrap itself up at any time now. I love them. I was home for Christmas, and my brother and I are doing dishes in the kitchen, and there's a dirty sock on the floor, a dirty, dirty sock, and he picks it up and he whips it at me. And I'm like, dude, aren't you 40? Did you just whip a sock at me? And he says, moron says what? And I didn't hear him, so I said, what? So I had to deal with an hour of like, you're a moron. Hey, moron. And, yeah, 40. Let's just say that out loud, shall we? 40. Also, big fan of You've Got Mail. Let's say that. I like to out my brother. He likes You've Got Mail. Remember that movie? 13-year-old girls won't say it out loud. There's my brother. Married, 2 children, nice beard. Okay, so, see how the jackass hilarity goes both ways, huh? Yeah, he's the golden child, the sock thrower. He's the golden child. Everyone related to the golden child? If you are not related to the golden child, you are the golden child, and look, I brought you something. No, kidding. He is a perfectly nice man. There's no reason not to like him, but he's done no wrong. We do make fun of him because that's how we communicate in my family. That's how we communicate. We have 2 ways of communicating in my family. We will talk at you and not listen, and then get to the end of the conversation and be perfectly happy. Or we will make fun of you, hoping you'll change. And with my brother, he's and actually we just make fun of you. My brother's a banker, but he's a banker in Milwaukee, so we like to say things to him like, hey, Russ, do you lend people money or do you borrow it to them? Try that joke in Nebraska. Is that a grammar joke? Is that a woman up there? Who said she could talk? Anyway. Sometimes it gets ugly. That's all I'm saying. He's a good guy. I got lots. My dad's a salesman. My father loves the sale. If you don't need something and he convinces you to purchase something, he wins. He isn't in competition with no one but himself. He loves the sale. My father has sold everything, too. He's sold mausoleum crypts. He's sold toupees. My father's a full head of hair, and when he used to sell toupees, he would comb his hair like a toupee and then pretend to adjust it. You should get one of these. These are good. Hell of a salesman, my dad. It's really good that he never sold, wooden legs or something, you know? He would have been like, you should get one of these. These work like a charm. And our oldest brother is an evangelist with his own church, because that's where the real money is, ladies and gentlemen. See how the jackass hilarity goes both ways? Ha-ha. But here's the thing, is we're actually quite pleased that our oldest brother has found the Jesus, because prior to finding the Jesus, he was a bad person. Now he has the Jesus, he is a better person, we are pleased. There's less hitting, it's all very nice. But don't kid yourself, he found the Jesus. I don't know what Jesus you people enjoy. I have some Jesus, but his Jesus is the meanest Jesus I've ever seen in my life. My Jesus says stuff like, hey, good try. Ooh, try not to do that again. Seriously, don't do that again. These are the things my Jesus says. His Jesus always says, oh, we're going to have to burn you. Really? Every time. Okay. And he's always preaching, and that's fine. The man is a preacher. You got to cut him some slack. But he was preaching over Christmas to our grandmother, and our grandmother is 94, and she is about to meet Jesus. She's got it. No need to go into details, but there he was, yammering away. And my grandmother, very polite, sat through the whole thing. Finally, he gets up, he leaves the room. There's a moment of silence, and my grandmother says, well, it's better than dope. I don't think I told you, both of my grandmothers live with my parents. I'm not kidding. Both of them live here, and beneath them, each of their freaking mothers. It's the episode of The Golden Girls that makes your head pop off. And it's hilarious. I mean, this isn't even a joke, but my grandmothers they're both going deaf, right? They're older than God. So I'm in the kitchen it was before the election. I'm making a sandwich in the kitchen. They're having this conversation where they talk at each other, but mostly because they're going deaf. But the TV's cranked, and my granny says to my grandmother, Alice, are you going to vote? And my grandmother, who is not originally from this country, says, I came to this country on a boat. And my granny says, I love to vote. I will always vote. And my grandmother says, I will never get on a boat again. I love that story. Old people are funny. My second oldest brother, he's a big crystal clutcher. He's been raising his kids with the crystal clutcher values. The crystal clutcher values is where you play games like New Age musical chairs, where everybody has a chair. So nobody feels left out. Good touch, bad touch football. You know, the good games. They get a little brutal when it comes to dodgeball, though. The only rule is you can't break Piggy's glasses. Yeah, you're right. She said funny. Me and her, Lord of the Flies. Okay, so... the craziness is, and then there's my other brother who's a serial monogamist. He loves to get married. Doesn't love to stay married, loves to get married. And then the ladies like to leave with a nice parting gift of half of his income. Who's that funny for? Me and my sister. And he's a great guy. He's 44, and he called me up like 3 months ago to tell me that he thought he met his next wife. She's 21. And I was like, ick, okay. And I'm sure you're thinking, good for you, buddy, do it. And that's all well and good. In the least creepy way possible, I wish all of my male relatives to get it on. I hope it all works out for you. Feel free not to tell me anything about it, okay? Hope it all secretly happens for you. Tell your buddy at the bar. That's my big thing. So, but he's, and don't think you're not going to get mocked. 21? I'm like, dude, don't marry her. Just go out with her, and then, because if you marry her, 6 months later, you're just stuck with her student loans. And where'd you meet her? Gymboree, huh? Trolling the high schools with a bag of Snickers? What? And where does he get it from but our dad? My dad is 67 years old, and he's not an old guy by any means. He's a young 67, and I don't want to make him into an old guy, but he doesn't have to tell me things. He told me he was dating a woman 25. Okay, creep factor 12, first of all, okay? That's creep factor off the charts. And I was like, you have to know somebody else besides your daughter, who you don't want to tell that to, don't you think? And, now that I'm officially way too old for you ever to molest, hooray! That's supposed to be the excitement there? I'm like, Dad, how about this? Here's a good rule of thumb. You can't go out with anybody who wasn't alive before ballpoint pens were invented. If she can't work a fountain pen, you can't date her. How about that? I love that joke. Okay, so, I listen to a lot of the hip-hop. You're big hip-hop fans right here. Oh, you enjoy the hip-hop? All right, good to hear it. There's some love back there. I'm going to be about the lyrics, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a spoken word person, so I'm going to be about the lyrics. I'm not saying that Nelly and 50 Cent and Eminem, that the beats are not fat. Those are fat beats. I get that. I know I'm getting a little older because I just want to say, oh, honey, you're hanging out with the wrong girls. I want to say that to Nellie, and I want to say, if you hang out with, I don't know, strippers and hookers, it's always going to be about your cheddar. It's always going to be about the provolone. Maybe if you were to date librarians, you'd be singing about how bitches be reading too much. Thing. Everybody in my family has a mouth like this. This is it. There's no boundary. There's no, hey, why don't you think again about saying that? How about that? And everybody does it. I mean, how many of you out there have thought to yourself, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it'll be funny enough and I won't lose my job. How about that? I've thought about it, and it's true. And my sister is like that. She'll just say anything. She called me up, and out of the blue, it just said, hey, I call not taking care of the parents when they're old. And all I could think was, oh my God, she called it. I'm screwed. She doesn't like our hometown. She like bolted immediately, and so we're driving through our hometown, and she's like, I can't believe you have any nostalgia for this place. Can't you see what this place needs? And I was like, what? He said, a match. I just got a new boyfriend. Every 17 years, I like to go for a little monogamy. I had to get a boyfriend because I got sick of having sex with strangers. Oh, I love the silence. Because I'm the only one that's ever had sex with a stranger, because tequila was just invented. Okay, that's... Sure. Here's the thing. Here's the reason I had to stop having sex with strangers. I hate that awkward moment when you're having sex with a stranger and you think to yourself, God, is this where he kills me? Awkward. Very, very awkward. Also, very hard to have an orgasm when you're poised for flight. Very tense. And I know you look at me and you think, I bet she's a wildcat in the sack. Not so much. You know what I am in the sack? A lot like I am on stage. Hard-working and earnest. That's right. Guys are always like, that'll do. Makes up for a lot, honey. And, but my boyfriend, I met my boyfriend online. Oh, some honest people. Yeah. The rest of you, we didn't meet in some golden shower chat room, jackasses. And if you don't know what that is, thank your Lord. Here's the thing. Online dating, it's great, because I'm actually quite good with computers. I am not good with men. Actual men, I'm not particularly good with them. No, me hitting on a guy is me standing next to him trying to use my powers of telekinesis to get him to ask me out. Generally, he thinks I'm having an aneurysm. But computers, I'm really good with computers. I was in Mississippi recently, and my laptop died, so I had to borrow computers. And somewhere in Mississippi, somebody has a decent computer with like a processor and a DSL. No one I met. Everybody I met had like a gerbil run computer that had like Windows 78. It was like hee-haw, where you'd actually walk up to the window and lift it up and go, do you have a typewriter I could borrow? Or a calculator? See, I'm good with computers, and online dating, it's a flippin' drop-down menu option. How much easier can it be? I am a woman looking for a man to date. Ta-da! Hooray! And then you tap, 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 you talk to him for a week or so, and then you go to a Starbucks, you sit across from a tiny table, and then one of you goes, no. Then you go back and you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, until finally, I met a nice guy. Guess what he does? He invents video games for a living. I was like, dude, how did you get that job? See how romantic I am, dude? And I can't get a straight answer from him. He said, well, it's perfectly obvious how I got the job inventing video games. I fought my way through several levels. And then I killed the big lizard boss. But I recommend you get yourself a guy who plays video games, who reads comic books, who collects action figures. Get that guy. Go out with that guy. Do you know why? That guy is home. That guy has a curio shelf and he's got to organize his action figures. They put out just like regular men. And me, I love video games, so it's great now. There's no more lies. I don't have to live the lie. I can just call them and go, honey, I'm going to be late. I am trapped as a bunny in the dark world. I cannot get my soldier form back, and I will be home as soon as I find the moon pearl. It's fine. It's awesome. And I'll tell you, we bought a house together. We're shacking up, doing the devil's work. By the way, don't make that joke at your brother who's an evangelist. He gets all sad at you. But I'm a comic, and he's, he makes video games for a living, so we had to buy like a crack house next to a power plant that makes your kids bald. And though we have decided that if our kids are bold, we're going to send them right back to the power plant to get a real superpower, because we are not raising Lex Luthor. That's right. And, yeah, LA's fine. You know, everybody, it's funny, because we have we have no weather in Los Angeles. It's terrible until it's horrifying weather in Los Angeles. Until there's like mudslides or the place is burning or whatever. And the thing is from home people will call me. They're like, "Are you okay? Did the brush fires affect you? Were you in the way of the mudslide?" Not knowing that to live in Los Angeles, anywhere near like a hill or a tree, you have to have a giant bag of money. If there's ever like a serious like strip mall fire, I'm screwed. If they ever find out that like putting a tanning salon next to a yogurt place is like combustible, I'm fucked. But until then, I'm just fine. It's all gonna work out for me. And the crazy thing is that I am from Wisconsin. Anybody here from Wisconsin? Wow, the state must be empty. All right. Holy smokes. What did you... That was the weirdest heckle. Did you just yell, "Nice economy"? That's hilarious. I actually approve of that heckle. Good work. Nicely obscure. You've thrown me off. Well done. You know, I was in my hotel room and I was watching the Girls Gone Wild ad. Because, what am I, made of stone? I'll watch a test pattern if the colors change often enough. And I was just thinking of all the guys that I know just sitting in their hotel rooms also watching Girls Gone Wild infomercial, just thinking to themselves, maybe there'll be a free nipple. You don't know, maybe there will be. And I was just thinking, you know, why don't they have with the Girls Gone Wild videos? I would just love just a little picture within picture of their parents. Just them weeping softly into a cracked mirror. "This isn't why we sent you to Georgia Tech. No." Oh. Are you really from North Platte?
Just Nebraska.
Oh, which is fine. Kearney, Columbus, Omaha, Lincoln. Omaha. I loved Omaha. That was sad. All right. Every time the damn half-hour special airs, I get 4 new fans and 1 letter from Iowa. From North Platte, usually. And it usually says, "Yeah, it sucks here, but fuck you." And, which I completely commiserate with, quite honestly. I'm like, you're on it. You're right. Oh, here's the car update. Get this. I went to lunch the other day. I went to lunch, first of all, at a restaurant, a nice restaurant, where, like, the Olsen twins go and don't eat. Right? And, so, I'm at this place. I come out. Someone has tried to steal my piece of shit car. I swear to God, a gang, obviously in a shame spiral, has decided to steal my car. I'm literally parked between a Toyota Sequoia and a Lexus. And granted, my car is unlocked, and they can't do it. They deserve the moniker low self-esteem gang. I can't believe they couldn't do it, because that AAA guy was like, he was almost there. He's just this piece. This is not the Gone in 60 Seconds gang, okay? And a hatchback? You're not going to go on some rampage in a hatchback. I swear to God, you're not going to live like natural-born killers. I have no idea why they would try to steal my vehicle, except for shame. But whatever. But to replace the ignition switch on an 89 Mazda, you have to build like a time machine. I couldn't believe it. And then the weirdest thing is when I bought that car here, because, well, you know. And I bought that car here, and the previous car I had was an 82 Escort. Oh, sure. And that was back in the mid-90s. And so I used to do a joke about that piece of shit car, right? There you go. I don't really care about cars, I guess. I don't know what the hell my problem is. Get a new fucking car. Whatever. But because these guys came up to me afterwards. They're like, "Are you looking for a new car? We can hook you up with a new car." When the Escort died, and I was like, "Well, yeah, kind of, just till spring, sort of." But and they didn't have a dealership. They were just two guys from like Egan who like fixed cars, and they had a farm or something where they had a bunch of cars on. And they're like, "Well, how much do you want to spend on a car?" And I said, $200. Because that's what I wanted to spend. And they said, well, we have $200 cars. But, you know, if you're willing to spend $400, we offer financing. Swear to God. I was like, financing on a $400 car? Will I end up paying like 16 grand for this car? I have one joke that never works. And I'm thinking of putting it on as a bonus track. What the hell? You know what it is? It's a joke that people hate. And here's the thing. I would never write a joke on purpose that no one would get. I am not an asshole. Here is the thing. I have accidentally written a joke that nobody's gotten. And it's not my fault. Here's the thing. I wrote this one joke. It's about the Mall of America. That it's a better name than the Mall of Yugoslavia, for example. Which would just be 5 big anchor stores fighting for ethnic superiority. It's just a weird political joke, right? But here's one. To get this joke, to get the following joke, all you have to know is a little basic history of the country of Liberia and be against the Monroe Doctrine. Here we go. Just the founding of Liberia. You can do it. Here we go. I know that we're freeing Iraq because they have our oil. But are we freeing Liberia because we want our slaves back? Founded by freed American slaves in 1842. See, that's not racist. The racist thing would be is if I were to say, who's the jackass who has to go to Liberia and say, yeah, the NBA draft is coming up. We're going to need a couple of guys. And that would be racist if most of the NBA, notwithstanding Larry Bird and that Chinese guy, they're black. Gonna go out on a limb there. You guys, take the stick out of your ass. It's all right. The black guy's left. Let's talk about it. Can you believe there's one black guy in the whole fucking audience? That's just... Hi, you guys. Whisper. No, they're very sweet. They're in love. It's beautiful. Sadly, I can hear it. Well, no. I'm right up here and all the echo, it's like this. Hey, tell another joke. No, seriously, tell another joke. What about now? So, you didn't know. But, you guys in love? Not you. You are in love, of course. It's very beautiful, but you're silently watching me. Granted, you don't have the best posture in the world. But, I like some openness. You two behind, they're palpably in love because you need insulin. You guys, nurse, you guys are sweet. You guys are diabetic. So how long you been going up? T-Man, Texas. What is that? 20 years? That's adorable. Aw, somebody gives a shit. Make it happen. All right. I'm happy for you. All right. So, no, that's great. All right. Cool. You guys are adorable. All right. And chatty. So, if you just wrap that part up, that'd be sweet. I usually sell my CD. I have 3 left. So feel free to go The Who on me and fucking stampede. I don't know. They're $10. I'll sign them for you if you want one. They got about 40 minutes of stand-up, a couple of theater pieces, me bitching out some audience members as bonus tracks, and because I am a dork. Yes, I love doing stand-up. Thank you so much for letting me. Have a good night, you guys. Good night.
Jackie Cation.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Cation.
That's exciting. All right, very happy to be here. I'm overweight. I think we've addressed it. Let's move on. We don't need to talk about it. It's gonna be fine. I'm very happy to be here. I love to do the stand-up comedy. Go wherever they'll let me. And I have been everywhere, and I love wherever I go, but I have been to the bad place, the place I will not be returning to, that place, of course, North Platte, Nebraska. Let's talk about it. Have you been? It blows. It's a terrible place. I hate them. I hate their children. I won't eat their cattle. They're horrible people. I swear to God. And the rest of Nebraska's fine. Kearney, Columbus, Omaha, Lincoln. I have been all over Nebraska because my career is on fire. They get cable, they have the opposable thumb, all 26 of the letters. North Platte, Nebraska is full of jackasses and morons. That's what's happening. Swear to God. I was there and I was mistaken for a local, which in a small town usually means free beer, but no, North Platte, Nebraska. It meant that I was standing at the bar before the show began and a giant man thought I was someone he knew. So I'm standing there and this huge guy is walking towards me, screaming at me at the top of his lungs. Who said you could get out of the truck? That is a bad night. It's not going to go well when you're mistaken for some jackass's battered wife right off the bat. Oh, Minnesota. You got all sad. It's okay, it's a joke. And it's not like I don't like small towns. I love small towns. And I've been to the Iron Range. It's beautiful. Oh, cripes, it's nice up there. Very sweet. It's a straight shot from here, too. Here's the thing. Don't go to northern Minnesota in the middle of the winter and have 8 or 9 shots of Rumpelmints. And then announce to a full bar that you've never been on a snowmobile. Because there will be a man who's had a couple of beers who says, "We're going! Right now, we're going!" And that man's wife will have clothes for you. Because they are good people. And what you will do is you will get into that guy's $500 truck. And you will drive to his $14,000 home. So that you can get onto his $27,000 snowmobile that goes the speed of light. But I really do like traveling. I was in Philadelphia not long ago, which was like a fancy Milwaukee. And it's like an old-timey Milwaukee. I went to see the Liberty Bell because I am a dork, and that's the kind of stuff I do. So I go to see the Liberty Bell, and get this, they've locked up the Liberty Bell. Yeah, you gotta go through airport security to see the Liberty Bell. Wow, is the Liberty Bell safe? The terrorists don't know about the Liberty Bell. Nobody gives a damn. It was me and 200 children that didn't want to be there. And what are the terrorists gonna do? Steal it and fix it? It's fine. And then I went to Atlantic City, and I had never been to Atlantic City. And did you know this? That Atlantic City, the Monopoly board, is named after Atlantic City. So Atlantic City was built, and then they made the Monopoly board. So when you walk around Atlantic City, you walk on the boardwalk, and then you see Park Place and Marvin Gardens, and it's hilarious. And I found out because I was almost crushed by a giant shoe. I hid underneath an enormous thimble. No, I did not gamble. I did not win gambling, shall we say. I did come in second place in a beauty contest. I won $15. I was immediately assessed a $75 luxury tax. This joke could go on forever. Let's just wrap it up with the free parking. There we go. Okay. And I am from Wisconsin. I'm from a little town outside of Milwaukee called South Milwaukee. Very glamorous. Called that because it's east of the city. We're not a bright people. But my parents still live there, and my parents are very funny people. They're not nice people. They're funny people. Anyone else raised by the hilarious? I was raised by the hilarious. And if you have hilarious parents, you were a mouthy child, because that's what you get. If you have hilarious parents, I was a mouthy child. And my mother, when she would have enough of it, she would say, "Come here, sit on my lap, let's look up orphanages." Funny now. And I tell that joke, and my mother always goes, "You know they were never listed." And I always wanted a dog, and my parents hate animals, and I wanted a dog so bad that by the time I was 9, I genuinely wanted to be blind so that I could have a dog. And I made the mistake of telling them that, and they burst out laughing and said, "Well, we still wouldn't get you a dog. We get you Stick. Stick, you could name the Stick." So, they're funny people. And my father is a salesman. He loves the sale. He loves the pitch. Guy mostly sells aluminum siding. And the triumph of my father's aluminum siding career is that there is a brick house in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
I think,
that has aluminum siding. House made out of brick with some siding. How did he make that sale? You don't have to ask him, he will tell you. You should have heard the pitch. I just kept telling this guy, low maintenance, low maintenance. Brick will chip. And we were like, "Dad, was that fair to say that? Was that nice?" And he's like, "Nice? What am I, Santa? Am I Gandhi? Am I some kind of social worker? I got overhead." Because that's what he used to call us kids. It used to drive him nuts, though, when we sold stuff for school because we didn't make any money. But he knew we needed to learn how to sell, so he didn't want to interfere with that process. And he would never help us sell. He would always say, "It's your sale. You close the deal." I'm 7. I was 7 the first time he sent me to work in the neighborhood for Little League, and I come home and he's sitting on the couch tweaking. "How did it go? How did it go? How many candy bars did you sell? Was everybody home? Were there any not homes? Did you write down the not homes?"
church. I'm building a church. I think. Maybe. Still debating on how it's going to be. Great. Now I know what I'm going to do, but now I don't know what I'm going to do with this building. Seriously, that's a good idea, Adam. And the gun shop's not done yet, but that's where it is. Synth Refuge, the Far North Church. I don't know if anybody's keeping score, but yeah. This was actually configured like this before. I need comedy.
Not homes tomorrow. No, I'm 7. I went to all the houses I'm allowed to walk to. And I didn't go to any of the houses that said no soliciting, because the coach said you're not supposed to go there because those people don't want you. And he freaked. You didn't go to the no solicit. Tomorrow, you go to the no solicit. Do you know why those people got those signs up? They'll buy anything. They didn't even want those signs. When I was 10 years old, my sister and I were selling candles for church. You know, the tall crystallized ones with the pictures of Jesus and Santa shaking hands. Okay, so there are candle boxes stacked all around the house, and my dad has had it. And he's like, "Are you two making any money on this?" And we're like, "No, we're selling them for church, Dad." And he goes, "Yeah, and now you're going to learn something. How much you selling them for?" And we say $3.50 each. And he says, "Now you two are going to sell them for $5." And that's how we learned how to skim off the top. I am married. You may applaud. I am a beacon of hope. That's right, a beacon of hope. Because I do comedy. That's what I've always done. I'm 2 years married. It's all very exciting because and if you get married and you're not like 25 or 30, everyone comes because it's a spectacle. And yeah, because you know who thinks I'm gay? Almost everyone. Yeah. Oh yeah, my family was like, "I thought you were dead." And you would have thought I was dead, because when I told them I was getting married, you would have thought it was the second coming of Christ, and that I had spent 20 years of my life playing with my own toes. They were like, "Oh my God, he's here!" And now, when I talk to my family, when I talk to my parents, the undercurrent of every single phone call is, "You're not fucking this up, are you? Don't fuck this up. He'll die alone." And I mean, my family wants to be supportive. Everyone's family wishes to be supportive. They just have no clue how to do it. Because literally, when I was 17, everyone's a mess when they're 17. I think that's safe to say. And my mother, when I was 17, said to me, "I don't know what to do with you. I don't know whether you're going to end up homeless or killing yourself." And I was like, wow, I am right here. You said that out loud. And so I tell my sister that, and my sister goes, "She is such an asshole. You could live with me." Supportive, but not. Anyway, so here's the thing. So I've been doing stand-up for like 20 years, right? I've been doing stand-up since women comics would get stage time right before they were burned as a witch. So I gotta type 3 minutes on the jackass who framed me. Anyway. And my husband makes video games for a living. I was like, dude, how did you get that job? Because I'm very romantic, and I call my husband dude. And he goes, well, it's perfectly obvious how I got that job. I fought my way through several levels. And then I killed the boss. And I recommend that you go out with a guy who plays video games, who collects action figures, who reads comic books. Go out with that guy. Marry that guy. Do you know why? Because that guy is home. Like right now, dude is around. He has got a curio shelf and he's got to organize his action figures. Keeps him off the pipe, keeps him off the pole. Come on. Yeah, but he's a game designer though, so I married art guy, right? And so everything's a game. He loves all games. He will play any game that you would like to play. Paper, scissors, rock, board games, card games, video games, dress up like an elf, go away for the weekend. Dude is dipped, is what I'm saying. And more than once when we were organizing our wedding, he referred to our outfits as costumes. He wanted us to get dressed up like pirates and take over another wedding. Now, I am not saying that that would not have been fun. I am just saying that I am not organizing 2 weddings, crazy man. And he's like, why would you have to organize the second one? Arr. And he wanted to wear a crown to our wedding. Yes! That's the most positive response ever. Because everybody else is usually like, he wants to wear a what? And you're going to let him? And that's when I knew I hadn't done a lot of dating, because I didn't know that I could not let him do things. But I didn't care. He could wear his underpants and carry a pork chop, right? I was in. And, because he's awesome. Seriously, all I've ever wanted in my life is a naked friend. Yay! Naked friend! Who doesn't want a naked friend? Yeah, party. Anyway. But we went on our honeymoon, and he wanted us to get matching tattoos. I am not tattooed, people. I said, instead of tattoos, why don't we just start collecting spoons like old people do when they travel? That's a thing. And he said, oh my God, let's get tattoos of those spoons. We'll like get a cabinet tattooed on our backs, and then everywhere that we go, we'll get a different spoon tattoo. I was like, wow, I would rather get a plate in my head and collect magnets. It's amazing that he makes video games, because I love video games. I've always loved video games. Video games are fantastic. And I know a lot of people don't. They don't enjoy them. And the news hates video games. And the news, of course, I hate the news. Right back at you, news. Yeah, right on. I don't know if you've watched the news, but the purpose of the news seems to be to scare the shit out of me and then cut to a commercial to sell me a pill. So, because for some reason I'm all nervous. Why would I be nervous? You just told me to LoJack my kid. And, jackasses. At least video games, you're proactive. You're fighting the good fight. You're affecting change at a grassroots level. You're not. But it's awesome! And they're shooting, and I need to shoot shit. So, I'm a grown-up lady. Allow me to shoot. It's best to occur fictionally. Now, but I hate it when they try to scare you into doing stuff. Like, there's, first of all, I saw on the news that they have bioengineered corn. They have bioengineered corn that bugs will not eat. Guess what I don't want? Corn that bugs won't eat. What the fuck do the bugs know? Did they know about the peanut butter? Could they have a better FDA than we do? They must. And so video games, I love them. And there are many video games that are awful. It's true. There is a rule with video games, if you don't know, the more horrifying the storyline of a video game, the more fun the video game. That is a rule. I did not make that rule. If there were a video game where you stab babies in their sleep, it would be horrifying, but I would be in my room going, I win. So don't let your kids play that game. That's a bad game for children. And there's a lot of games I play that are shooting games at the arcade that are like, you're a cop, but you don't arrest anyone, you just shoot them. That is a terrible premise. That is a fun game. Worst premise ever. Final Fantasy Legend. It's true. Terror Target Gold. It's fantastic. Anyway, so... But get this, is Final Fantasy Legend, the very first one for Game Boy, my old Game Boy. Awesome role-playing game. You pick 4 companions, you go to 5 different worlds, you learn the secrets of those worlds, you kill the heads of those worlds. And then you get to meet God. And God is a tiny Amish man on the Game Boy screen. And then you kill God. And that's the worst premise ever. I know that. I'm not made of stone up here, but it took me 8 months to beat that game. 8 months! I stood in front of God for a month, switching guys, switching weapons. I couldn't kill him. I gave up. I called the Nintendo Game Counselors, which is real and not free. It is $2.99 a minute to talk to Eric. He is 12. And he makes fun of you, and I was like, he goes, so do you have a mutant in your party? And I was like, do I sound like a moron, Eric? Yes, I have a mutant in my... If you people learn nothing tonight, if you were offered a mutant, take it. Take it. It'll morph. It'll have powers you can't even imagine. And he goes, well, just give your mutant the saw, and God will fall to pieces. And so it came to pass. You know, you do that joke in Mississippi, you have to close it with, what would Jesus do? He would laugh. Laugh, I tell you. He wouldn't chase you out of town with pitchforks and fire. All right. And I've been hanging out with guys like my husband my entire life, and I've had to cut some people off. You can't hang out with everybody forever. And some people, like there was a guy I went to college with who legally changed his name to his Dungeons and Dragon dude name. Yeah, that guy's done. That guy's done. Chad is now Quest Akita. And... not realizing that he doesn't get to keep his +7
Adam,
armor.
I didn't see your message. But yeah, it's
I totally just picture Chad, Quest Akita, whatever, living in his parents' basement in Wisconsin, mourning the decline of DOS.
Not a bunker, though.
12 people. Okay. The rest of you guys can Google it when you get home. But I've drawn a line in the sand, and it's very far down the road. I'm still willing to hang out with almost everyone. I've drawn a line right before the war reenactment guys. So I'm willing to hang out with everybody up to, but not including the war reenactment guys. Do you know how far into the dork forest you gotta go to get to the flippant war reenactment guys? Very deep. You gotta go by Beanie Baby people and Star Wars guys and Renaissance Festival freaks and Pokemon kids. And you have to get by the Twilight vampires and Harry Potter himself. To get to the war reenactment guys, who I won't hang out with anymore. How sad is that? Because they always say stuff like, every weekend I just eat hardtack with weevils in it, because that's what it was really like during the Revolutionary War. And no girls allowed, you can't play. I don't want to play. Still no girls allowed. Still do not wish to play. Swear to God, the guy said to me, well, maybe you could play, maybe you could be a pioneer prostitute. They called them camp followers. Guess what I don't want to be? A pioneer prostitute. I don't want there to be a fake sign in the fake Lewis and Clark General Store window that says Jackie Cation puts out for pelts. Alternate punchlines, beavers for beaver. A little dirtier. Thought you might like it. You people did. Good for you. Okay. And the reason I stopped, because I moved to Los Angeles, and I met these guys who were World War II reenactment guys. World War II reenactment guys. You know what those people are? Assholes. That's not okay. There's still people alive from that one. Let's wait till everyone's dead before we play the game, jackass. And ooh, can I be a Jew? This is a terrible idea. I'm thinking of starting my own group called the Vietnam War Protesters Reenactment Group. Yeah, we're just gonna get stoned and pretend we're making a difference. The boomers either love or hate that joke. I've been doing comedy forever, right? And I have 4 older brothers, and I have a husband, and I have a dad, and comics, male comics, for 20 years. I've been hanging out with guys. And so I always thought that I understood guy funny. Not like stand-up comedy guy funny, but just guys, how they're funny with like their wives and their daughters and their moms and their sisters. Because when I was a kid in Wisconsin, every time we would drive by a pasture with cattle in it, every time my father would say, see those cows? You know what those cows are? They're outstanding in their field. Every time. I have heard that joke hundreds of times. I have laughed at that joke dozens of times, against my very will. Because that's what it is. That's what guy funny is. You tell your daughter, your wife, or your girlfriend, or your sister a joke 50 times in the hopes that she will laugh at it 7 times. And then the other 43 times, all you do is sit there and go, ha, not this time. Next time. So, I was home for Christmas, and my brother and I were doing dishes in the kitchen while my sister-in-law put their 2 beautiful children to bed. And there on the kitchen floor was a dirty sock. Creepy, child-encrusted, wet, dirty sock. And he picks it up and he whips it at me. And I'm like, dude, aren't you 45? Did you just whip a sock at me? And he says, moron says what? And I didn't hear him, and I said, what? You know what that is? That is an hour and a half of my life that I'm never getting back. Did you know you're a moron? Did you know you're a moron? You're a moron. Why don't you give me a soda, because you're a moron. Diet Coke, moron, go. And this is where I like to tell people that my brother Russ really likes the movie You've Got Mail. Because that's the gayest movie ever. Him and his wife and his 2 kids, nice disguise. Anyway, he is, but okay, and on election day, my husband called me every 2 hours to say, I am having a raging election. I've never seen such a massive election in my entire life. This is a huge raging election every 2 hours until finally I was like, you know, after 4 hours, you're supposed to see someone. Gotcha. But I always fall for it. I don't know why. It's like the Sixth Sense. I didn't know he was a ghost. I have no idea why. You'd think I'd see it coming at this late date. But no. So it's our 2nd anniversary a couple of months ago, right? And for our 1st anniversary, I marry Art Guy, right? So I'm married to Art Guy, and so for our 1st anniversary, we're supposed to give each other paper. And not that it's a contest, but he won. Okay. Because he took all of our early emails and put them on pretty paper and then put it in a nice leather-bound thing. I wrote him a note and put some stickers on it. So he won, and so I'm like, year two, I'm gonna do it. And year 2 is cotton. You're supposed to give each other cotton. And so we were out to lunch, me, him, and my last friend from high school. That they have never met, my husband and my last friend from high school, this guy, Stefan. And we're sitting at lunch in Milwaukee, by the way. If you ever wanna eat everything for $4, go to Milwaukee. Free pie and coffee. Okay, with half a chicken. Anyway, so but they've never met each other. We're sitting at lunch, and I say, it's going to be our 2nd anniversary. We're supposed to give each other cotton. And my husband, without missing a beat, goes, no, I hear it's bread. We're supposed to give each other bread. And my friend from high school has his back and just goes, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that it's bread. They've never even met each other. But the hilarity of taking Jackie for a buggy ride is so funny. Because then I'm sitting there going, well, maybe it's bread. I don't know, maybe it's bread. And so we stand up to leave the restaurant, and there's an old woman sitting at a table next to us, and I say to her, hey, it's our 2nd anniversary. I think it's cotton, like it was paper and it's cotton. They think it's bread. Do you know what it is? And she stood up and yelled at me and said, it's never going to be bread. It's not food, ever. Backfired on him, of course, because he got 2 cotton t-shirts and a CD of the best of Bread. And I don't know if you've ever heard the band Bread, but they are not good. They make you want to burst into tears and roller skate backwards. So the only thing I knew about being a wife or being a girlfriend was the 9,000 male comics that I've known that have been telling the same 3 damn jokes over the last 20 years. And sometimes those jokes are funny. And many times they are not. But they are the same 3 damn jokes, I promise you. And they are that women will spend all your money. Once you get married, they stop sleeping with you. And bitches, man, they're all bitches. So I have spent the last 2 years of my life making sure I am not hemorrhaging his money, making sure everybody's happy in the sack. We all happy in the sack? And then if I have a negative emotion, I like to stuff it. I moved from here to Los Angeles, brought my car, 1989 Mazda 323 hatchback, with about 1 billion miles, still has the Minnesota plates because I'm indulging in a little insurance fraud. And My favorite thing to do with my piece of shit car in Los Angeles? Valet park. I love to valet park the hunk of junk car. I love to spend $5 and 10 minutes explaining how to drive my car to the man who's trying to work for a living. It goes something like this. Yeah, you gotta start it in neutral. The emergency brake doesn't... Don't lock it. Don't lock it. Don't lock it. Thanks. Now I have to climb through the hatch. And people with really nice cars are mean to the valet guys, and you know what that is? That is mean. That isn't okay. I like to play a little game with the valet guys where I pull up quick before they see the car. And then I jump out and I hand them the keys and I say very sternly, and hey, be careful. And then they see the car and we share a laugh. And then I like to say, and I've written down the mileage. Much above 197.5. You are joyriding. Somebody stole the tape deck out of my piece of shit car. Yeah, let's internalize the word tape deck for a second, shall we? It's a street value of a tape deck. $1.50, $2, what are we talking about? Somebody broke the passenger side window so they could have my $100 Best Buy tape deck. Here's what I would love to say to the criminals of the world. No one locks an '89 Mazda. No one. Check the door, dumbass. Take what you'd like. Because now I have to replace either the window or the jukebox. And what am I, Rockefeller? And I replaced the window because I'm a grown-up lady. And but now I got nothing to do. Horrible LA traffic. Driving around, no music, no nothing. And I've taken up a little light reading while driving. No one is pleased. One guy almost monster trucked my ass in his 2-bedroom SUV. Got off his spiral staircase long enough to yell at me. And he's pointing at me and he's like, are you reading or are you driving? And I swear to God, pointing at me with his cell phone. And I love a cell phone. I'm not against a cell phone. Some people are. Some people think it's unnecessary technology. Those people, of course, the direct descendant of the guy who hated the wheel. Because cell phones are fantastic. And why don't you go back in time and bitch about the alphabet? What about that? What do you want to write shit down for? Why don't you just go tell her the story? Because people have always hated the new technology. They always have. Before cell phones and video games and televisions, it was radio. And before radio, it was the evil fictional novel. And before that, it was poetry. And I swear to God, back in the 12th century, it was backgammon. Parents hated backgammon, like Vice City hated backgammon. Like Billy's in the castle for 10 hours a day playing backgammon. I can't get him out. I've tried everything. Jousting camp. I am sending that boy on the Children's Crusade. 20 people. Excellent. I'm building. That's what I'm doing. It's going to be great. You guys huge fans of Sarah Palin? Let's just go there. I was psyched. Sarah Palin. I thought she would have made an excellent vice president in The Handmaid's Tale. Speaking of weird, obscure jokes. There you go. I got another one. I enjoy the hippity hop. Anyone else enjoy the hip hop with the talking and the music? Just one guy. Excellent. This is going to go really well. Okay. I enjoy the hip-hop because I'm a spoken word person. I like it when it's sort of positive, when it's kind of cheerful. Like back in the day, it was BDP and Public Enemy and Eric B. and Rakim. And, you know, Big Daddy Kane spoke to us all when he said in 1989, romance with no finance is a damn nuisance. Now, and currently, I mean, Atmosphere, they're from here, little emo, but I like them. And then there's Black Alicious and Common, and there's great Black Eyed Peas. But let me just say that Nelly and 50 Cent and Eminem, I think we can all agree that the beats are fat. But I can tell I'm getting a little older because I want to get Nelly and just go, you are hanging out with the wrong girls. If you hang out with strippers and hookers, it is always going to be about your cheddar. It's always going to be about your provolone, buddy. Maybe you date a librarian and sing about how bitches be reading too much. That joke is well crafted. I consider myself a Christian. I would never tell anyone that I was a Christian because everyone who says that they're a Christian, the next thing out of their mouth is something horrifying. And so, but I've decided I want the word back, so fuck off. And, I'm a Christian. I'd like the Christ. Nice. Good. So, but George Bush always said he was a Christian, but he never went to church. He never ever went to church and still doesn't because, and he said his excuse was that he didn't want to endanger the rest of the congregation. And I was like, my dad has been looking for that excuse his entire life. And the closest he's come is, kickoff is at noon. weird thing is George Bush said that he wants to be alive to see the rapture. And guess what? If you were alive to see the rapture, you have dropped the ball, dumbass. I don't want to be anywhere near a rapture. I don't want anything like a rapture happen. You know how I want to die? Very old in my bed, being fingered to death by someone I love. That is how I would like to be. Some people think that is a horrifying image. I think that that is a better image than the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Don't break up into discussion groups about it. I did live with my sister for a short amount of time. I was in Milwaukee, and it was a Sunday afternoon in Milwaukee. I was staying with my sister, and I decided that I would like to get a beer and play a video game. And so I go to a local bar, and then it's 3 in the afternoon, and then all of a sudden, it's 11 p.m., and I am best friends with the career drunks at the bar. And one of them is an older guy, middle to late 70s, genuinely old guy. And it's about 11 p.m., and he says, "Do you want to keep drinking?" And I said, "Of course I do. Yes, I do." And so we get into his Cadillac. That is right, Cadillac excitement. Now, we get into his car, and we drive to another bar in Milwaukee. Now I have no idea where I am. Good news, he did not take me to a lime pit and get rid of my body. So, the next thing I know, it's 2 in the morning, and we're hammered. And now we're back in his car, and he starts hitting on me. And I think to myself, ew, old guy hitting on me. And then he starts telling me how sad he is, and how long it's been, and how lonely he is. And I think, I could fuck him. It wouldn't kill me. And again, let me just say that I think I'm kind of sweet. Who else is thinking of fucking me old? Now, so I turn to him, and I put my hand on his leg, on his thigh. At no time do I touch the little veteran of the big war. And he turns to me, and he says, "Thank you," and he comes. Now, swear to God, I never realized how powerful I was as a woman until that very moment. So I moved to Los Angeles, and people, it's weird about Los Angeles, because when I first moved there, I thought that there'd be shouting on the streets, you know, "Hey, we're trying to shoot Baywatch, get the hell out of the way." But everyone was very nice, very polite. My first Hollywood party, I was trying to fit in, right, trying not to sweat, because everyone said their glands were moved, and people were pretty nice about it. But I was at this party, and this woman comes up to me that I've just met and says, "Hey, Jackie, there's cake. Of course, you'll want a piece of cake." And I was like, wow, no, thank you. Cake is not my downfall. I am not retaining excess cake. You got a piece of chicken back there, I'm all over it. Because I love chicken. I love chicken like it's a problem. I can't have it in the house. Trigger food. Can't do it. I love chicken so much that I will occasionally purchase chicken wings at Hooters. This is not a feminist moment, ladies and gentlemen. But I get them to go, and they make a hell of a wing. Here's what I don't understand about the Hooters chicks. All day long, they bust their ass serving people food for tips, right? And all day long, tiny outfit, shake their ass for tips. And then they go home at night, and they have like $100, maybe $200 in tips. And that's great, except for the fact that they can make like $1,000 a night in tips. No food involved. Just shaking their ass. And they don't. And I understand that they were abused as children, and that's why they work there. But were there math problems? You know, you tell that joke in Pittsburgh, a guy yells out, "Well, don't tell him." You gotta ruin everything? Yes. Oh, don't forget to tip the waitstaff, by the way. It's not a fucking hobby. There's 3 kinds of crazy people in Los Angeles. There's the people who want to suck the normal off you. I don't know if it keeps them skinny or kills cellulite or what. But when I first moved to Los Angeles, the first time I ever did stand-up, this couple came up to me after the show. Man, woman, heterosexual couple comes up to me and says, "You're really funny. We want to have sex with you." No. First of all, I'm really funny? They want to have sex with me? Like in the middle of sex, I'm like, so this horse walks into a bar. Why the long face? Can't tell half a joke. Now, here's something something you don't need to know. I can't have sex with lots of people. One guy, having a good time. That's the project. That's the deal. That's the task. If I were to have sex with lots of people, I have low self-esteem. I'd spend the entire night going, are you having fun? Are you having fun? What's happening back here? How's it going? Can I get you something? A little coffee, some sheet cake? And 5 people having sex. Let there be snacks. Now... But the truly crazy people are the people who want to rain on your parade because you like LA. Like, I like it, and I get to see famous people sometimes, and it's exciting. A friend of mine came to visit, and she got off the plane from Savannah, Georgia, and she goes, I need to see famous people. And I was like, I do not know where they are kept. And she pulls out an Us magazine and goes, I do. And literally, we drive around for like 5 hours until we pull up to a restaurant, and Orlando Bloom walks out and gets into his car and drives off. And she hits me and goes, don't follow him. Okay, crazy lady, I won't follow him. What are we gonna do, lure him into the car with some Snickers bars? Finish raising him? What the hell? But I saw Keanu Reeves, age appropriate, drinking at 11:30 a.m. Pass it on. Okay, so I see Keanu Reeves, he's all handsome, and I tell a friend of mine that I have seen him, and she goes, yeah, he's cute, but did you know that he's gay? And I was like, I did not know that. You know what I do know is never going to be an issue. We are not going to date. I don't even think he's the brightest bulb on the tree, quite honestly. I wouldn't kick him out of bed if he wanted to discuss philosophy. Though I might say, shh. You're so pretty. Just lie there and think of England. I got it. But the truly crazy people in Los Angeles are literally the animal people. And before I go into it, allow me to make an announcement. I love animals. I love them. People are animals. I love people. I love the tiny animals we have as pets. I love the larger ones we eat. I love all the animals. I'm like Dr. Dolittle up here. I frickin' love the animals. My husband has an iguana. It's like petting a purse, but it's a perfectly nice animal. Very adorable lizard. And, but get this. When I was a kid, of course... If you had an old dog or a very ill cat, you sadly put the dog down, put the cat to sleep. It was very sad. But they would go to Happy Dog or Cat Heaven, and you would go to the pound to get a new fucking dog. And it's a circle of life. It was very beautiful. That doesn't happen in crazy Los Angeles land, where people are like, oh no, the cat's only 17, we're gonna get dialysis. Are ya? I have a friend of mine who has a cat that is 21 years old, and in addition to the plethora of other issues going on with this cat, it now has diabetes. And so she has to shoot it up twice a day. You know what that is? Time for a new cat. A new cat twice a day? Why do you get a cat? So you don't have to do anything. That's why you get a cat. Because it poops in a box. $3,000 for diabetic cat medicine for this cat. You know what that is? That is 3,000 new cats. Because cats are free. And I have another friend of mine who has a dog, and the dog has to get a new hip, but it didn't work, and so the dog is still scooting around on a cart like Captain Pike. And I'm gonna tell you something. It is a dog. It is not ever going to be Stephen Hawking. Not ever. It's not gonna write the great American novel from the cart. It's not gonna cure cancer from the cart. If it can't run, new dog, new dog! And people get mad at me in LA, and they come up to me after shows, and they're like, you don't like animals. And I said, no, I don't like you. Because you're a jackass about your pet. You gotta let go, weirdo. And, because what do you get with a cat or a dog? 15, 20 years. That's what you get. I didn't make that rule. If you would like more than that, turtle, 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 turtle. Tiny turtle, hat, tutu, carried around your creepy Paris Hilton purse. Can lift its head up. Adorable. Giant tortoise that could walk slowly around your backyard for 300 years and become a burden on your descendants. Turtle. Where I go to eat breakfast in LA, right next to my breakfast place, there is an animal eye care clinic. Kid you not. Animal eye care clinic. I don't have insurance, but let's get Mitten some contacts. Better now or now? Now or now. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I was set up on a practical joke. I hate them. And I was told that I could get a massage down on Venice Beach. you can get touched. So I go down to Venice Beach, Muscle Beach, and I go down there and I go to the old Chinese dude that I'm told to go to, Mr. Lee. And he has got a table and a tent, and I am wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And I lay down on his table and he's working on my back, and life is good. And then he starts working on my legs, and he's working up my legs, and he's working up my legs. Yes, until I am forced to say aloud to Mr. Lee, that's where I keep my vagina. You're gonna need to move to the other leg. Or up to the left and faster. I'm not made of stone. It's been established. But I told that story in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and this very drunk woman comes up to me after the show and says, "You need to sell a t-shirt that says up to the left and faster." And I was like, please, God, no. 2 reasons I can't sell that shirt. First of all, and most importantly, I don't want to be the vagina t-shirt lady. How about that? And here's from a strictly sales point of view, that wouldn't be the t-shirt, up to the left and faster. That's dumb out of context. That doesn't make any sense. Up to the left. The t-shirt would have to say, horrifyingly enough, that's where I keep my vagina, with a big arrow going down. And I would sell 1 million of them. And for the fellas, it would be, that's where I keep my vagina, with a big arrow going to the left, like I'm with stupid. And I would sell 1 billion of those. In the Wisconsin Dells. And then I could count all of my money in hell. Because that's where you count your vagina t-shirt money. Me living in a double wide in North Platte. The last time I was home, I had breakfast with my dad. Me and my dad out to breakfast, and he says to me, "All right, how's it going out there in Hollywood? What's the plan?" And I got a little defensive. And I said, "You know what, Dad? I just figured out that I love to do stand-up and to act and to write. As far as I'm concerned, that is the plan. I mean, a giant bag of money as a doorstop would be nice. But, you know, I am doing what I love, and I am not being an asshole, so I win." And he backed right down. It was awesome. But then he goes, "All right, well, then let's talk about your act." Because he is a salesman. And in his mind, my act, comedy, is my pitch. He's got a lot of showbiz advice, by the way. He's got a lot, like, he likes to say things like, you make your opportunities and you break your opportunities. Remember what Jesus said. Give a man a fish, that man knows where to go for fish. Teach a man to fish and you've just destroyed your market base. Jesus never said that. It wasn't him. He didn't say that. He didn't say kill them all, I'll sort them out. He didn't say any number of things. Like you see the stick up your neighbor's ass and not the one up your own. But so, he outlined my act on a placemat. And he goes, all right, now the MC is very important. He gets you into the house to make the sale. The MC should never introduce you as being funny. He should talk up your credits, and then when you're funny, that's the payoff. When you end your show, never end on a joke. Pardon me? And he goes, hear me out. You do your last joke, and then you gotta do your post-close warm down. You've made the sale. Now let the people know that it was time well spent. Take a moment. Tell them what you've told me, that you love to do the stand-up. Ask them if they've had a good time. If they have, they should tell their friends to come see the show. You could make a joke there, tell them you need the work. That's funny. Thank them for coming out to the show. My father is a piece of work. I think that's been established. But the things that he knows well. So I would like to say that I love performing. Thank you very much for coming out to the show. If you had a good time, please tell your friends, because I need the work, obviously. Thanks a lot, you guys. Drive safe. Take care. I was 10 years old. I was 10 years old and my sister and I were having a contest to see who could sell the most candles for church. You know those tall crystallized ones with the pictures of Jesus and Santa shaking hands? Now, there's all these candle boxes. stacked all around the house, and my dad has had it. He's like, "Are you two making any money on this?" And we're like, "No, Dad, we're selling them for church." And he goes, "Well, how much you selling them for?" And he says, $3.50 each. And he goes, "What happened? What happened over here?" Sorry, I got distracted. I'm alive. What the fuck? There was a conversation right there, and it was, what was it?
She was taking a sip.
Oh, she was trying it out? Oh, excellent. How is it? What is it? Is it delicious? No, I'm good. I have a giant bottle of my own crap. What is it?
A bulldog.
It's a Colorado Bulldog.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday? Excellent. Should we cut you in half and count the rings? Congratulations. Oh, I saw you wearing that. You were wearing a pointy hat on the way in, and I was like, Minneapolis, Wiccan. You people are hippies. Is there a Wiccan in the back? All right, congratulations.
Thank you, babe.
All right, well done. All right, now what's happened is people are just going to yell shit. That's fine. Yes, the Colorado Bulldog and other things. What about, was it you with the hat and the texting? Is that you the one who was fucking yelling? Oh, okay. You're busy texting, you're not yelling. Oh, good. All right. That's, all right. Is it a bachelor party? When, who's the bachelor? The hat dude? You should give that guy the hat. It should be the guy in the hat. It should be made out of diaphragms or something. You guys are the only guys who aren't going to see a titty bar in a back.
They can defend themselves. They don't need much. They just got defenses up the wazoo.
What? Scared already?
It's true the night is young. Will you go to Sheik's? Sheik's is like the fancy one where... What? Something cheaper? Well, you guys know how to treat your buddy right. Going to the strip joint where it's mastectomy night. I lived here for 6 years, did you know? All right, can you tell? Where did I live? Over on the West Bank, kind of by the Gaza Strip. The stand-up comedy is great. It's weird about stand-up comedy, though, because people will come up to you afterwards and try to tell you a joke. I don't want to hear it. It's always horrifying. It's always a horrifying joke. Sometimes it's both racist and sexist. And I'm never polite about it, and I try to be polite, and it always fails. I was at my sister's work, and one of her coworkers comes up to me and says, "I got a joke for you." And I was like, okay. And he goes, "What do you call a Mexican with a really big toe?" And I said, "A racist?" And he didn't get it. And then he goes, "No, Roberto." And then I didn't get it, and we were even. And he goes, "Oh my God, I got another one. Why are bananas my favorite fruit?" And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because they got a peel." And I was like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be racist and then a dick joke, but it turns out...
I'm curious, because I think he's hilarious, but then again, usually comedians from other countries that are funny here are not funny in their own countries. So, is he funny to you?
There. Where you go, huh? Gonna fuck up. Stupid little man! No, you went and got me! Catch! Cover! Right through! You humans! So stupid! So weak! Only one of us survives this!
He's got a Netflix special that's pretty funny. She's got a couple Netflix specials, I believe. Just one large, giant ash pile. Cockroaches are following me.
4. I don't mind 4. Who 4's are? And last night, second show, this guy comes up to me, and he's like 25 years old with a faux hawk. Don't do that. That's 7. That's the last year you get to wear a faux hawk, unless you're a soccer player. How about that? And but a perfectly nice young man comes up to me, and this guy comes up to me, and he's like, drunk, super drunk, and all of his friends are trying to stop him from talking to me, but he's got a mission, man. He's on it. And so he comes up to me, and he says, I gotta tell you this thing. When I got to the club tonight and I saw your headshot, and I gotta tell you, and I said, hang on a minute. Take a second. Think to yourself, is this going to be offensive? And he actually stood there and he went, maybe, but I gotta say it. Gotta say it. Usually I don't like women. Usually you don't like women comics, but I'm fine. He's like, you're great. It's awesome. And I said, you know what? That's fine. Usually I don't like drunken assholes, but you came over, and it was awesome to meet you. Thought I'd digress briefly and let you in on the comedy mind. You look a little terrified, by the way.
Please give it up for Jackie Cation.
Here we are. Stand-up comedy. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna get my act together here. Having some shirt issues. I am overweight. You may consider that addressed. Never as funny as you think. The fat jokes. I don't have any. It's not happening. It's exciting to be here. I love stand-up comedy. It's my favorite thing. I've been doing it forever, since women comics would get stage time, right before they were burned as a witch. I opened for Hester Prynne. Back in the 1600s, it was sweet. She had a tight 5 in the Iroquois. A lot of feather jokes. Funny then, hacky now. Very happy to be here. I go wherever they'll let me. I love to do the stand-up comedy. I live in Los Angeles. I'm from Wisconsin. And when you move to Los Angeles, there's never any illusion about what you look like. Like this in Wisconsin, this is a 6. Professionals get involved, maybe a 7. Los Angeles, this is an airport cop, my friends. Nothing to be done. And I'm okay with that. I have tried to explain to them that they could clean it up, turn it into a judge or a lawyer. I don't know. Play whatever you want. And I travel all over the place, and I love to do stand-up comedy. But sometimes I get a little smug. I can get a little in my own head about it. I forget sometimes that I'm from Wisconsin. Yeah. What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. Sometimes I go to, like, Arizona. Here's what's happened. I don't know if... It's us. Every state in the union has elected some nutbag. And it's us. We're the ones voting. But every single state that I go to that I wish to lord over them, because I don't have some banana head. In Wisconsin, we have a governor called Scott Walker. That's his name. And he is a big fan of arming grade school teachers in the room. Also, by the way, huge fan of destroying the teachers' union. This is not a man that has thought through his plan. I'm going to take away your pension and hand you this weapon. This is not a bright man. This is not a man who has thought through. Paul Ryan, also from Wisconsin, pretty sure that guy date raped me in college. I am not saying he did. I am saying he looks like the guy, and he's age appropriate. That's what I'm saying. But I go everywhere. I'll go wherever anyone will let me, quite honestly. A couple of years ago, I went to Iraq to do stand-up comedy, because that's where people were working. And I'm against war. I'm always going to be against war because I'm against hitting. So I'm going to be against everything above hitting. But But people are always like, you gotta support the troops. And I was like, I've always supported the troops. I support the troops finding other work, but I support the troops. And I've never known anything. I've known nothing about the armed forces. I come from a long line of cowards, my friends. Yeah, we're runners. And so I don't know anything about the armed forces, but we go. And here's the weirdest thing I found out about. Everybody in the service, 98% of the people that I met that are in the service genuinely wanted to be of service. It was weird, since that's what it's called. But they were good people that were like trying to be of service. And, you know, I would occasionally meet that guy who's winning the war by himself, you know? He's like, want to feel my muscle? You're never safe but when you're with me. No one likes that guy. The guy next to him hates that guy. But I went to Iraq a couple of years ago in July, because that's when you want to go to Baghdad. You want to go to Baghdad in July, especially if you've ever wondered, what would it be like to live in a convection oven? It's hot, it's windy. And it was me, 2 other comics, and 4 Philadelphia Eagle cheerleaders, B Squad. Meow. Yeah. Because they were jackasses, these women. These ladies were out of their tiny lizard minds. Yeah, because we were supposed to fly everywhere. We were supposed to fly everywhere in Blackhawks, which I totally wanted to do, because I enjoy video games. And I wanted to fly in a Blackhawk. But there were dust storms. It was dust storm season in Baghdad, so we were not allowed to fly anywhere. We had to drive everywhere. And the cheerleaders became angry. Angry cheerleaders. I don't know if you've ever seen angry cheerleaders, but it's like bees. They wanted the army to fix the weather. Turns out, A, the army's plate was full at this time, and B, it's the weather. So they put a lot of Kevlar on me, right? Because this isn't butch enough, right? Let's bring this down a notch, right? Because you know who thinks I'm gay? Almost everyone. Could have been, went to college. It's not like I might not know. It didn't take. So, so I'm going along. And we've been driving these things, these MRAPs, these mine-resistant armored personnel vehicles. That's what they're called. And everybody keeps telling me, don't worry, Jackie, don't worry. No one's ever been killed in an MRAP. No one's ever been killed in an MRAP. And I'm like, really? Has anyone ever wet themselves in an MRAP? Because that's what I'm going to do. And so it came to pass. Everything I know about the Army, I know from the commercials, right? So I know that it's an adventure. That's what I know about the Army, that it's an adventure. What I did not know was that it was also a job. Like a job. Like get up in the morning and file something and shoot something and shovel something. Like regular jobs like everybody has. And the weirdest thing, we're driving along in these MRAPs, right? And when my first sign that we're lost in the middle of Iraq. Great. And, my first sign is we get lost, and the Army, in the MRAP that I'm in, there is a driver, there's a navigator guy, there's a kid sticking out of the blowhole, right, with a pt9, and then there's a kid next to me with a giant rifle, right? And I hear over the headphones the sergeant yelling at the navigator guy. He's like, we're lost, Munoz, we're lost. Where the hell are we? What the hell? And Munoz goes, this is where MapQuest sent us. This is it. Because you know what's hilarious? War zones. War zones are hilarious. And everybody's hilarious in them. And we're lost. We're driving along. I don't know if you've ever worked in a restaurant. If you've ever worked in a restaurant and someone throws up in the bathroom, the manager will come out and everyone will freeze. And then he will pick someone. And everyone else will go, all right. Didn't pick me. And then the person that he picked will go, fuck! And they'll grab a broom and they'll go mop up the bathroom. So we are driving, this is when I knew it was a job. We're driving in the middle of Iraq, and the sergeant gets on, he's like, so we're gonna need someone to get out of this truck and direct us over this dirt bridge, or we're gonna tip over and fall down and die, or whatever. And everybody freezes. I can hear it on my headphones. The frozen. And then the sergeant goes, Munoz, you gotta get out. And he's the only one. He's the only one who can really do it. But there's a pause, and he goes, fuck! And he grabs his rifle. And he goes, that's where the bad guys are. And he actually said that's where the bad guys are. And then he grabbed his rifle and he got out of the truck and he directed us. He'd do it 3 times. And I was like, oh, it's a job. And it completely reminded me of my last day job, which was at Kinko's. And this is what Iraq is like. It's almost exactly like Kinko's. The next time you go to a Kinko's, that's what Iraq is like. It's quiet. It's tense. And everyone is standing around thinking to themselves, am I gonna kill someone? Or is someone gonna kill me? Because it could happen from either side at a Kinko's, is what I'm saying. I don't know if you've tried to get a copy recently. It's not a positive experience.